Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to, well, being truly well-informed. In a world just overflowing with information, our mission is really to distill the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight just for you. Today, we're embarking on a pretty fascinating journey into the profound wisdom of Indian thinkers. We're exploring how their ancient ideas brilliantly illuminate, modern challenges around human values and ethics. We've meticulously gone through a comprehensive lecture and your curated notes, and we're ready to uncover some surprising facts and profound perspectives that can transform your understanding. Whether you're prepping for a meeting, catching up on a field, or maybe you're just driven by curiosity. So let's dive into how this timeless wisdom can offer clarity and guidance for the dilemmas you face every day.
It's truly fascinating, isn't it? How these philosophies, sometimes centuries old, they aren't just dusty historical texts. They offer incredibly practical, actionable frameworks for navigating everything from personal ethical choices right up to global policy. We're going to see how deeply interconnected their ideas are, forming this really rich tapestry of thought.
Absolutely. And when we talk about challenging norms, ushering in change, where better to start than with Raja Rammohan Roy? He was such a pivotal figure, someone who truly disrupted the prevailing negative traditions of his time. What were some of the most entrenched evils he really dared to confront head on?
Oh, he fearlessly took on immense challenges. Patriarchy, for one, the horrific practice of sati, obviously, and just the systemic denial of women's basic rights. He saw these not just as, societal ills, but as fundamental blocks to a just and evolving society. He really aimed to dismantle them.
Tearing down. Shh. Yeah, that implies a level of courage that's, frankly, hard to imagine today.
It makes you wonder if we connect this to the bigger picture, how the rapid expansion of the internet today often challenges traditional values and, introduces more modern ones. It's a dual-edged sword, though, isn't it? Because traditional values aren't all bad. Roy's work really highlights that distinction. Good traditions should be cherished, but harmful ones, they absolutely need to be challenged and reformed.
That's a crucial distinction, and it raises an important question. How do we actually discern which traditions are beneficial and which are detrimental? Roy ushered in what you could call an age of enlightenment, precisely by promoting critical analysis, fostering a scientific temper, basically cultivating a mindset of critical inquiry and evidence-based reasoning. He advocated for a society where reason, not just blind adherence, guided progress. Right. And he wasn't afraid to look beyond India for good ideas either. He was remarkably open to beneficial Western concepts like democracy, education. But this wasn't about blind adoption, was it? It was about adapting and absorbing valuable learnings, making them your own so you don't lose your own identity. It's about taking the best from everywhere and, integrating it thoughtfully.
Exactly. And his teachings are incredibly applicable to contemporary questions, especially those around societal values, traditional practices, and the dilemmas we face in value education. How do we teach values when some traditions are contested? Roy provides a foundational principle for that, applying reason and critical thought.
Okay, so from challenging the negative, let's maybe shift gears and consider someone who powerfully emphasized taking pride in the positive traditional values, Dayan Saraswati. His philosophy deeply connects to concepts of intrinsic humanness, what he calls swabhav, essentially, our innate, true nature or disposition. He believed that when your actions conflict with that inner knowing, you inevitably face a kind of crisis of conscience.
Precisely. While Roy focused on reforming negative traditions, Saraswati brought us back to the Vedas. He emphasized the immense wisdom within positive traditional values and teachings. He essentially said, look to our roots. There's profound guidance there.
And Saraswati offered a particularly stark insight that really resonates even today. Ignorance causes misery. He added this to that list of other negative human values we often discuss, greed, pride, ego, lust, anger, hatred. Think about it in, say, a team context, a team failing on a project, not because they lacked resources, but because they refused to acknowledge critical feedback or new data. That ignorance directly causes the misery of project failure, wasted effort. It's a profound call for continuous learning and open-mindedness, isn't it?
It truly is. And perhaps his most crucial teaching, the one that provides such a powerful moral compass, is that dharma is in following truth. Now, this has profound implications. You might hear the idea that, at times, falsehood, if it results in unblemished good, can maybe take the place of truth, perhaps in very specific sort of utilitarian contexts. But Saraswati's view is firm. Truth ultimately triumphs. Falsehood might offer short-term gains, sure, but sustainable long-term good, that always rests on truth, no matter how inconvenient it might seem at the time.
So how might this apply in your life? Well, this teaching gives you a powerful moral compass, right? For justifying actions or maybe framing conclusions when you're stuck in complex ethical dilemmas or real-world situations. It's a guiding principle when you're trying to figure out the right thing to do amidst all those conflicting pressures.
Moving on to another giant, Vivekananda. His Vedanta philosophy centers on faith in self. He emphasized its crucial connection to strength and fortitude, especially in times of adversity. He believed that belief in oneself is the ultimate strength. It allows you to face pretty much any challenge.
He also emphasized positive education, the principle of encouraging rather than constant criticism. Think about his impactful quote, "Condemn none. If you can help, then help. Otherwise, fold your hands or move forward." We see this all the time, right? I know I've definitely been guilty of that armchair criticism, like when we see athletes not performing well in, say, the Olympics, without ever actually supporting them or understanding their struggle. He'd say, help or be quiet. It makes you rethink how you engage with others, doesn't it?
And from his perspective, ethics is actually quite simple. It's doing good for others. This directly links to concepts like altruism, societal benefit. It's a straightforward, actionable definition that moves beyond abstract philosophy to real-world impact.
And he had a clear vision for the development of a good nation, which he saw as nurturing individual personality, fostering goodness, eliminating jealousy, and promoting mutual help. He truly believed that a nation is only as strong and good as its individual citizens.
And we see his ideals tangibly applied today. Look at initiatives like the Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2025, which is this nationwide program in India. It brings together thousands of youth leaders to present innovative solutions for national development. They're directly embodying Vivekananda's ideals of self-belief and nation building.
Yeah, his teachings can really guide your personal development, inform national policy, shape approaches to social challenges, particularly those involving youth and leadership. They provide a framework for empowerment right from the ground up.
Now let's turn to Sri Aurobindo Ghosh, a profound thinker with a wonderfully nuanced view on complex ideas like sacrifice. Indeed, Sri Aurobindo Ghosh brought a unique perspective. When we talk about sacrifice, he differentiated between, well, what he called positive sacrifice and negative sacrifice. Positive sacrifice is selfless, it's duty-driven, altruistic, like, a parent sacrificing sleep for their child, or a doctor working tirelessly for patients. It's about honesty, contributing to collective benefit. Negative sacrifice, on the other hand, is about compromising values or the public interest for personal gain. It leads to unethical, unsustainable outcomes.
This connects directly to that really provocative question. Judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it. If you achieve success by compromising your values, betraying public trust, stepping on others, then your success isn't truly good or sustainable, is it? But if you sacrifice personal comfort or maybe immediate gain for the benefit of many, that's a completely different, more admirable kind of story.
And it raises another important teaching of his: knowledge is consciousness of reality. For Sri Aurobindo Ghosh, reality in an ethical context isn't just about what you see on the surface. It's rooted in truth, values, and freedom from ignorance and delusions. It's about understanding things as they truly are, not just as we wish they were, or, as we've been told they are.
And that's where he links to Socrates' idea of the unexamined life, isn't it? An unexamined life is one lived in delusion, in ignorance, lacking that true knowledge or awareness of reality. As a public servant, for instance, your awareness of reality and prudence is crucial for accurately identifying problems and implementing effective ethical solutions in any given situation.
He also introduced a fascinating perspective that sort of complements certain mindfulness practices. Exclusive orientation on present leads to ignorance. Now, while many traditions emphasize staying in the present moment, Sri Aurobindo Ghosh highlights the crucial need for a long-term perspective in decision-making. A focus solely on short-term gains, whether in business, politics, bureaucracy, can easily lead to corruption. Why? Because you're only worried about today's immediate outcome, not the lasting consequences down the road.
Right, and he believed this short-term orientation can only really be countered by self-discovery, by understanding your own core values, your principles, your conscience. It's knowing who you are and what you stand for that gives you that long-term vision, preventing you from being swayed by, fleeting temptations.
His vision actually extended quite far to a spiritually awakened world united in harmony. This isn't about narrow national interests like that zero-sum game of us versus them, think make America great again, versus a broader vision. It's more about global cooperation, peace, sustainable development. We saw this reflected in, for example, the recent Rasina Dialogue Summit in India, which brought together global leaders to discuss shared challenges and the absolute need for collective solutions.
These teachings really challenge us, don't they, to think beyond immediate gratification and narrow national boundaries, fostering a more conscious, more harmonious global outlook. Now let's maybe explore how these incredible ethical frameworks, from Roy's reforms to Saraswati's truth, actually help us navigate a really pressing challenge, like gender inequality today.
Yes, that's a great practical application. Consider a past civil services exam question asking about the main factors responsible for gender inequality in India. You can approach this through an ethical lens by leveraging the wisdom of various Indian thinkers we've touched upon. Dayanand Saraswati, the principles within Sikhism, Ram Manohar Lohia's Saptakranti, they all provide powerful ethical frameworks for addressing inequality head-on.
And a particularly powerful tool for answering questions like that, or just generally for promoting a more inclusive society, is what we might call the religion-based approach. It allows you to draw on diverse spiritual and ethical concepts in a deeply human, relatable way.
For instance, we can highlight the concept of self-purification from Islamic ethics, emphasizing how inner purity and ethical conduct naturally lead to treating everyone with equality. Then there's the powerful rejection of discrimination, as seen so clearly in the Bhakti movement, which profoundly promoted egalitarianism and challenged those deeply entrenched social hierarchies. And finally, the principle of oneness of being found in Sufism. It advocates against discrimination based on caste, creed, gender, role, anything really. It sees all humanity as fundamentally indivisible.
So by integrating these diverse religious and philosophical ethics, you can really enrich your understanding and, more importantly, your actions, promoting a truly inclusive society. But of course, no discussion of Indian wisdom is complete without mentioning the Mahatma himself, Mahatma Gandhi. We all know his name, but let's focus on some less commonly emphasized perhaps, but deeply profound teachings.
Absolutely. Take Gandhi's concept of Sarvodaya. It translates roughly to the benefit of all, and it's crucially distinct from utilitarianism, which typically focuses on the greatest good for the majority. His famous talisman states that you should always ask if your actions are serving even the last man standing in the last row, ensuring that no one is left behind, especially the most vulnerable.
You can see this in action today with initiatives like the Dudiyona Bagh campaign in Mysore, India. This campaign uses the MGNREGA program, that's a rural employment guarantee scheme, to empower rural communities, control distress migration, and foster local self-determination, or Swaraj. It's about ensuring that even the most vulnerable have the means to live a life of dignity, right there in their own communities.
And he had a truly radical approach to justice. Fight injustice, but protect the self-respect of the wrongdoer. This means punish the crime, not the criminal. It emphasizes respect for human dignity, rights, privacy, even for those who commit wrongs. Think of a legal system ensuring legal aid even for someone widely condemned, like Ajmal Kasab after the Mumbai attacks. It upholds the principle that everyone, simply by being human, has inherent worth and rights. That's a bedrock of many democracies.
And for Gandhi, Swaraj, self-rule, it began within self. It was about controlling your own emotions, anger, desire, lust, ego, hatred, cultivating inner peace first, before it could manifest outwardly as societal peace. You can't really have true peace in the world if you don't cultivate it within yourself first, right?
He also powerfully articulated the idea of everyone's need versus one's greed. This speaks so directly to contemporary issues like climate change, global warming, which are often driven by excessive consumption. It underscores the vital principle of sustainability and, importantly, equitable resource distribution.
And his profound belief that service of mankind is the path to find God. That's coupled with the idea that if one man gains spiritually, the whole world gains with him, and if one man falls, the whole world falls.
Yeah.
It's a broader concept, almost a universal truth, isn't it? That, as Martin Luther King Jr. later echoed, a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere.
Now, what's truly fascinating here, and maybe a bit counterintuitive for some, is his crucial theory of rights and duties. This contrasts sharply with, say, Kant's theory of rights, which often emphasizes inherent individual rights above all. Gandhi's radical yet incredibly simple statement was, your only right is to do your duties.
Wow. So he believed that focusing solely on rights can inadvertently lead to violating others' rights. Whereas if everyone focuses on fulfilling their duties, whether it's social duties, organizational duties, duties to the public interest, it naturally safeguards the rights of others, promoting true social living and mutual benefit. Think about like a community where everyone focuses on their duty to keep public spaces clean. That naturally means everyone gets cleaner, safer parks. much more effectively than if everyone just stood around asserting their right to use the park without contributing to its upkeep.
Exactly, and you can apply this to very real-world dilemmas. Think about a public servant deciding whether to blow the whistle. They're balancing their duty to the organization's integrity, or maybe to society, against their personal rights and potential career fallout. Or consider a bank manager tempted to misuse a dormant account. Is weighing personal gain against their fundamental duty to all stakeholders and maintaining public trust. It's about prioritizing responsibility.
Okay, finally, let's delve into the spiritual depth and profound insights of Radhakrishnan, a thinker whose teachings can truly open one's inner eye to deeper truths.
Radhakrishnan profoundly stated that man is not a bundle of nerves and muscle alone. He contains in him a spirit. This spirit, he talks about, it refers to our conscience, our intrinsic humanness, our moral compass. The future of mankind, he argued, depends on how individuals access this spirit and approach problems relying on that spirit, on conscience, rather than just, brute force or purely military approach.
That applies so directly to handling complex situations like, say, mob protests. A superintendent of police, for instance. They have to control their own emotions, rely on their inherent sense of duty, the spirit of their team, rather than just resorting to force alone. It's about de-escalation through wisdom, not just control through power.
He also powerfully emphasized that moral victory is more important than physical victory. We can see this play out in international conflicts. India, for example, has often chosen moral victories focusing on de-escalation, long-term peace over the physical destruction of an adversary like Pakistan. This connects back to Aristotle's idea, doesn't it? That true bravery lies in controlling one's desires rather than just defeating enemies, because physical victories often just create new adversaries. It's an endless cycle.
He also detailed the qualities of a good human: being free and creative, self-reflecting, thinking critically, and not being satisfied with mere material possessions or superficial pleasures. These are crucial attributes for genuine personal growth.
And the importance of self-reflection here is just paramount for decision makers in all sorts of roles. Think of a quality control head in a corporate setting. They must self-reflect. Are compromised products being dispatched domestically while the good ones are saved for export? It's a core quality for ethical leadership, demanding that kind of honest introspection.
Radhakrishnan proposed a really clear, powerful, two-pronged approach for individual and collective flourishing. Spirituality for personal well-being, humanism for social well-being. It's about looking inward for strength and looking outward for connection and service.
And he further differentiated changes in human nature. He talked about mechanical changes, those imposed by laws or external forces, versus ethical and spiritual changes, which are rooted in attitude shifts, a reawakening of consciousness. This framework is actually invaluable for things like stakeholder management and case studies. It helps you understand that true lasting change often comes from guiding attitude shifts from within, not just imposing rules from the outside.
And to kind of wrap up his profound wisdom, two powerful quotes. First, man is great when he is not a cog in the social machine. He is great when he's able to think for himself, judge for himself, create for himself. This profound call to self-determination, isn't it? Independent thought, reminding us that our true value comes from our unique contributions, not just fitting in.
And the second one, the awareness and understanding of mystery of life can be gained only through ethics, religion, and philosophy. This offers such a holistic view of how to live a purposeful, truthful life. It connects these profound disciplines as pathways to deeper understanding, not just, a set of rules to follow.
Absolutely. These insights from Radhakrishnan, and really all the thinkers we've explored today, they offer profound guidance for personal growth, for leadership, and for navigating complex societal challenges with, hopefully, a bit more wisdom and grace. So we've journeyed through a really rich tapestry of Indian thought today, haven't we? Extracting crucial insights from Raja Rammohan Roy's courageous fight for reform right through to Radhakrishnan's profound wisdom on the human spirit. This deep dive wasn't just about learning facts. It was about understanding how these timeless principles offer clarity and guidance for the dilemmas you face every day. Whether that's in your professional life, your personal choices, or simply in understanding the world around you, you now have, hopefully, a unique set of tools from Gandhi's radical idea of duty as the only right to Sri Aurobindo Ghosh's nuanced take on sacrifice to help you navigate complexity with greater discernment.
Yeah, these teachings offer not just answers, but also really profound ways of thinking. They can truly transform how you perceive challenges and opportunities in your own life.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over. After exploring all these diverse perspectives on human values and societal good,
What aspect of these thinkers' wisdom will you choose to explore further in your own life today? What new question has this deep dive sparked for you about how you live and engage with the world? We'd love for you to discover your own aha moments.